Good day, everybody. So we woke up a little bit, and now we have to explain you about how the society actually is. When natives or aboriginals, in other words, it could be between aboriginals, you can say First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. But the problem is about that you have even First Nations, but that is considered between the natives. Now, those are the first that have lived in Canada. And the same is in the United States and Australia, the same concept. It's not their land, it's not our land as natives, but I'm not only a native, but one of descent as well as a native. But the problem is I don't discriminate people. I see everybody really equally, except those who committed the murder, sexual rape, and that those I just don't want to be around them. This is the reason why lots of times I would say something that maybe wouldn't be too nice to her for those. But murder is a murder, so you don't want to be with those people who do that. And what I want to say, actually, I realize that probably these people have something to do with it as well. What happened during that during that assassination attempt and all that happened here at this apartment, and it was done all deliberately. Actually, it wasn't by mistake. It's true. Someone was guilty up and down. Someone else. It's true, but this is going on all the time. This is not something new, and they are involved with it, even themselves. And what I wanted to say, not biblically or that they come to this country and people open the arms for them. It's not the same as in the United States when people do and did help the people, but how they help the people to use them, right? So they never really help the people in real life. But we really did open the arms for many people even before in the previous years, and they done all type of things to us. To be honest, how it ends up and what they are doing, then when you see what is going on, you wouldn't believe. So now terrorism is terrorism. So you understand what I'm trying to tell you. And I do live here and I have no problem with this, but I applied for that and I never really expected it. Wasn't planned as many people who plan in advance to defraud the people. I never did that and I didn't know even that this exists because we were pretty wealthy as a people, especially generations ago, and I didn't really know what is going on, what this even is. But it's about as well about this one you get only if you go on the cross for the honest person and person without crime, if you go on the cross or with these other things that happen, terrible things. And, I'm trying to explain you. This one is a complex. Complex usually means for the military. And I am the best in the military for the training, and that is conditional, which is paid 1.7 trillion a year. And now it's going to be 10th year next year, and around October it's going to be the 10th year that I'm a world champion, and that is the leadership, which is paid 1.7 trillion with the exports a year. First time is paid 150 trillion because that is emperor. That's minimum. Actually, I'm so much better. It's like 100 times better than those what they use, but and better than Olympic 12 times. But Olympics. But what I want to say, do I have to look as nativeless? That's how they think. And this is why it's a problem in this country because they're looking who looks this, that, and then catastrophe, they destroy everything. And now, what I want to say, together with that one, altogether, they owe me 176 trillion US dollars. And that is true, that is not a lie, not a second of a lie. And imagine just that, from the beginning in 2005, even before, but 2005, I mentioned it more clearly to the people. When I invented things for TTC, that was 3 billion US dollars right away when I invented, I made. And they never paid. And they just still, in all those things what they're having, there's on my what I made before them. And what happened is, even I live here, it doesn't make any difference. They owe me lots of money from the beginning. People think that maybe they made any favor to me. I mean, on the cross, and this is not just the first time. And the shootings, what they did, all kind of things. But Jesus raised me back, to life, because the death was 23rd of November, and that was around 2006, because that time was almost like that company, which I think that these people are actually from there. Those who pretend being nice, but actually are like those who dip in a dish together, but and then they betray the people, and they think because they are too nice, you think that they are good, but actually now you see what is envy and what is evil. And the devil, so they're supposed to pay actually for all the success of inventions and all the great things. They're supposed to 19.253 quadrillion US dollars now, because before it was less. Now, but they never pay. So these countries are a little bit kind of type of, they love to steal. So because they came immigrants as these people, those as Filipino and similar. What I'm not saying necessarily Filipinos are all bad, but according to before, we used to be a lot with, but now I can see, and that is exactly when you dip in a dish. After a while, you can understand what that is. They just destroy, take, and steal food from the fridge and so on. You wouldn't believe they enter without you notice and so on. Uh, and always they were looking all the time, sexual trafficking, marriages, these women. We don't want them. No one wants people like them. They're terrible, especially these ones here. Now, they're very primitive, uneducated, and it's hard to explain that. They actually think that they are educated, because how they think, because they learn a little bit how to talk, they think that is an education. I mean, yeah, but this is why God prospered me to the greatest inventor, not them, because someone who worked the hardest for so many people at once. And yeah, I have wounds everywhere because of that, plus the cross, and still it's not enough. Still, he wants even to steal even this one, what I have here. You know how evil he is. He said to give respect and raise the money worldwide and return what is ours and plus what's supposed to be. No, he's going to come to destroy everything. So, because people usually would say America destroys everything, what in a way it's true that America always, kind of takes, steals, or like Nikola Tesla and those things. They really do that. Canada, America, and the world for the military, and that is true. Like Bill Gates did that in Apple. That's true. They did that to me. But the problem is, people would say always America destroys, but actually, there are these people who you think that they are as very nice, but actually they are destroying as well, and they are destroying all the time things. Not just destroying like this, but also crimes that they are doing. And I'm not saying that something is not better with this guy, the new office guy who came, the Filipino Gestapo. He's he's pretty good at something, but that's how you don't do this way. These things. Maybe if you go to Mexico, Yugoslavia, Belgium, up and down, you're gonna come back in a coffin. If you do it this way, the way he does it. But that works something. It does, but that should be united with all the organization work together in order to bring a normal. They don't do that on deliberately, and he accused me on that, and he knows they're all involved together with them, because they want to eliminate something that is the greatest in the world, the greatest emperor who accomplished the most, and no one can ever accomplish that without God. With men is impossible. And what happens, even they know that, they always, they try to destroy everything, coming, looking diplomas here all the time. Like, you didn't come here to do that. You have something to repair, fine, you do it, but don't come here to look at my things. They're such a evil people. They come to look at the things. And what I want to say, Gestapo, he abused and something, and we are successful. We can't really go too far with things. This is not like gangs now to If I, okay, let's not talk about it. But I'm saying he was very violent, and he provoked it to really, and he sexual raped and intimidated and all that abuse. And look, he's looking your face like he's like pedophile, looking too close and very too close, looking face like he's such a evil, like I don't know what it is, garment as well, and all those things. They do that all the time, and this is why people don't like them. They lots of people hate the type of, but they're not all like this. Like Asians, they're not all that way. As I'm trying to say, like if you go to Chinatown, once you're successful, then you're gonna experience all type of things. But they're not all that way. With Filipinos, I said, okay, by the basketball, sexual trafficker, she comes all the time and keeps looking, is disgusting. Another guy, one Filipino, was cutting the road all the time, bring violence and create a homicide. And then this one here created those two women before they were cleaning something, they sexual rape, we don't want to discuss. And their material, that type of people, they know that America is not going to give you anything, but you have to be with the successor. You know what I want to say? Because America just takes yours, but these people, where they're going to come then, And it was a little bit hard because these people are trying to force into friendship, speech, and marriages because they're so material. They just try to. They're very bad people. These people should go to the prison for that. And you can notice that they were in Salvadorian prison, that type of people. You can see that they're primitive, that they're not normal. But from the beginning, maybe if you are that type of person, oh, how are you? Good morning, and you think that that is good. But that's not good the way you think. You think that if you say good morning, all that, and you talk to them, they love that because they're material. But I don't even prefer to say good morning to them because I noticed from the beginning these people are bad people. And but when I saw one other one who maybe is Filipino, maybe Chinese, maybe Indonesian, I don't know, doesn't even matter. He was doing something that lots of people do. At least he didn't hide, and I don't judge him. I'm just trying to say better if you go Jesus' way because you will understand later on why it's not good to maybe do those things, you know. But a person doesn't understand baby boy and what that means and why is someone too young, he still doesn't get it. But there are people who get it, so they want the garments, so that's why. They want free and they follow all around and keep following and stalking. We don't really want them because I can see right away what that is, you know. I have done lots of miracles in life, for the people, even for myself. They've done the worst things, and if it wouldn't be God with me together, I would never not survive, not even heal myself, not even. I cannot explain it. That I would love to maybe show you one day what they were doing, but unless you go through these things, you will never understand. It's like Bethlehem. Unless you go through that from the Nazarene Nazareth, from Nazareth on that things. Unless you go through that, and this was like 100 times worse, you will never understand these things. And that was not over. They were attacking even with knives, with the military, all kind of things. And this type of person even looks as him, who was looking there when that was that attack from sexual rape, and we didn't allow that. And they tried to even rob all kind of things. And they, by the bank, the same, the type of people who look as them. When scheme happened by those two type of Kurdish but Iranian Afghanistan type of people. More Afghanistan, Iranian accent mostly and Afghanistani, but Kurdish look kind of. But they were two who. So they were all involved even with this office here, and they robbed before. Then they kicked out one guy here, and the same he came the same to do the same. This guy. There is something better about it. I'm not going to say that it's not. At the present time, you can see much less of those things, but that could end right away because I know when they used to work there by the exhibition center and so on, they were corrupted and all kind of things was happening. But there was one honest there, but it was too much corruption. Nothing could be done, because no one can actually trespass or something unless someone allows you for the money, and that's what was happening. The same is here, is from the drugs, prostitution, that sexual trafficking, marriages, bribes, all type of Sharia laws. All the time they are coming, and he came here to tell me to get out. Can you believe that? They owe me so much. And now, because I didn't really want at the time to say, I'm an hater as well, because I don't want to use these phrases. But I want to say, like, you are here on my place, go back to your country, I told him. Why? Because he misbehaved, he abused, he brought violence, something that what I don't want to do in life because I'm successful. I don't want to do these nonsense things. And also before, I used to be champion for lots of things, but after the crosses and this, I don't want to do these things. And as well, it's not really healthy to do those things in both ways, unless you are very unwise and very primitive person who doesn't understand what is good in life and what can prosper you. Because only basketball is worth 200 billion US dollars what they owe me to pay me, but what they stole is 25 billion US dollars from basketball knowledge. And they always send these criminals to bother us. But this is stuff, they were looking many times at us all the time, and I said, I was must be maybe they're doing that. And then I find that yes, they're sending people like that because that's what he did here. The guy who just came to work here in the office, he just came. We would say dojos, došljak, you know, if you understand what it means for those people who are from the Balkans, they understand that what I wanted to say. Because if I say it in English, it's not going to be really that terrible to understand what evil that is like Gestapo, Gestapo Philippino who comes here and he just want to invade and take over and steal something he didn't work for, and then he spies all the time. All the time, they are very bad people actually. Like I don't want to talk to them, and I was forcefully actually I had to talk to them because when we went to the office after, because I wanted to make it to the end to finish it like we have to finish this what happened that we have in the file, and to me was disgusting just to talk to him because that's how they use the greatest people to talk to them because they would do anything that people talk to them because they're such a disgust people. People don't want to even be around them except those people who, and in both ways they need a doctor to talk to someone. And then they come here, listen what you say, and they give bye all the time. They gossip what you say. I mean, what type of people they come by your door, listen what you and in the window what you talk all the time. They do that. They're sick people, my friend. These people are not normal who work here and such. But the crime that he committed, what I wanted to do is not about forgiveness or not. That's not something new that is happening, but you should go to jail for your crime, pay the justice $500 million, let's say, because it was very serious. And plus other things that were happening for so many years, around 16 to 18 years only here, approximately. Altogether 18, just this type of. And they should just go back to their country first, to the prison, pay the justice what they owe to that, and then go deported to their country. But no, this country is just accepting people who really do bad things. For example, if you help people who are coming for good, is one thing. But when you're helping terrorists, people who you consider were prisoners, because you don't misbehave this way just for something, for a door reason, which they are doing it together, and that was the reason why something was made, because they were harassing people for so long, for years, and that's what I'm talking about. And they know exactly that no one is doing something wrong with that except those who come, they break everything, you know those you just don't understand. I mean, this is totally criminalized, but many people don't understand me. Someone got murdered on my floor. Now, whether he got murdered or maybe he died, to me it looks, I don't know. To me it looks that he was murdered. But I had an argument with him, and what argument? People are setting up the people here. They do that all the time, at all times. And what I did, one other murder happened down. And now I understand people why a murder happened down. That I do understand now. By the door, I know exactly. And you deserve to die if you invade somebody like this with the violence. I totally understand, but I'm not sure what actually happened between them, because people are always going to say, "Oh, drug dealing, this," but no, it's not always that way. It could be anything, because I don't do any drugs, any crimes, nothing I do. I don't even drink, smoke. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't use drugs. I don't smoke drugs. I don't do any. I don't use medicine. I don't need. I'm a doctor, so I don't need any. I don't do these things. So not always is true what they say. They're gonna always judge the same way. People are this way. Especially the authorities, which maybe they murder you and then they have a shoot. They're gonna say, those people. Because my neighbor next door, yes, I went under the cross because of Barabbas, but the problem is this guy is involved with all of them, with these things, what is happening, what I don't want to tell you, but the worst things they were doing. Yes. And then because he was always abusing me with other things, but that you don't understand how prisoners, what they do. And then when I was practicing, because I'm a world champion for a military training, and that's worth a lot of money. So he tries to destroy. That is envy against my culture. That is racism, right? But he's such a disgust. But at least he's not a hypocrite. And he tried to always damage my training, and then this training went a little bit down, up, down, and because of this type of thing, they do that deliberately. And then he was always complaining for opening door, like only 10 times I opened it, and I do really slowly when it's a training that I don't disturb anybody. But when they come, they are breaking everything. And even next door when they come, they were breaking everything. For God's sake, man, they were disturbing people and all kind of type of things they were doing. You wouldn't believe what a evil people. He's one of the biggest evils next door neighbor that he lived here. And I tried to put him into the right direction, and I got upset one time with him because he was doing that for years. And I wanted to say, hey, I paid the price for you and all type of things, and I'm not trying to put him in jail for that. But what I wanted to say, because I didn't want to say that I'm anything for it, I lost my arm because of that, and all type of wounds all around the body that you wouldn't believe. I almost became paralyzed when I trained the hardest training. That one came back from the torture. I cannot explain all around the back and everything. In many places where I died from the torture, I finished in a wheelchair for the rest of my life on the death bed with bed wheelchair. Bed wheelchair, not just a wheelchair. How it was almost I totally lost. I could never walk again. How it was, you wouldn't believe. And I survived to the training, even better results with all the biggest pain. And then I healed myself through the spirit. But this guy was always next door. He was always harassing, all kind of things he was doing. You wouldn't believe. And he was yelling all negativity, and that brings, when you go to the Planet Fitness, you know what it brings. You have to be positive, otherwise goes every. And that's how subs do negativity all the time, racketeering in order for the results down and to steal ours. And the interest of the country for the greatest. You understand why they do so. They lie all type of things about us, plus conceal the ATC. You understand why they do that, so that you would be there, that you don't get hairs because life in danger, and. And there were also people who threatened to kill you, all type of things. They were the envy people. But this guy, one time got upset, but I control myself. But I was a little bit trying to say, look, if I really want, you have no idea. I mean, and I was, but I didn't do that for that what they think. No, I just knocked on his door, but not to break it. I was a little bit harder, but not hard, but little bit louder on the door. That he opens. That we now finish. We say for his complaining and his accusing, but he does all the wars and breaking everything that you can't even. I cannot explain. You have to go through that to understand. But because these people, what they do, there's no point telling them anything because I cannot explain it that. On the end, it doesn't matter even if you work for that dead. When you do these things, this you are a criminal. That you can be a good person. Doesn't matter what because I understand things. And I wanted that he opens and to be rougher and to say, like, if you have something to say it now because don't think that somebody is just we are successful, so we have to be, on the right path. And anyways, we would be, but I'm saying. And he didn't open, and I don't know really why that happened. It probably didn't because of that, but somebody. I don't think he is dead, but if he is really dead, I think it's something else. You know, people call him a rat as well. Now, a rat or not, people can always call you a rat. People always have imagination because they don't have experience who a rat really is. Rats are between them. But what I want to say, I think that he just transferred himself somewhere because for a reason people probably would kill him, even those who he collaborated with, even Serbia and these other countries, if you understand what I'm talking about. For example, in Russia, you get a bullet in the head for a reason. So in America, life imprisonment. So that's what I'm talking about. Before was that, right? And this is why. And what I know he is a bad person, but you know, I just wanted to make it clear with him. Look, I'm a nice person, but I'm not a person that you're not going to be for years doing that. Look, you have something to say it now, so that police as well comes. And if you have something against me, then you say it. If that is really true, but you're not going to harass me at all time. This is why we had a little bit argument. Like I did that on the door a little bit, but I didn't break anything. I just a little bit harder. I knocked on his door that he comes out. That's all. And he didn't do nothing. I didn't break his door. Nothing. I didn't want to do because I'm not going to be doing crimes. It's just to tell him that I have enough of you and your crimes. You are doing crimes and don't accuse me of because I train something because I'm the best in the world because I'm supposed to get the biggest. Egoist, but I do genius records, and this is why he's egoist. And now, people set up people this way. On the end, he deserved to be killed from my side. I will be honest. Like, I supposed to kill him because you have no idea what he was doing to me. But somehow I didn't, like, first of all, I'm very successful. Second, it's not that how to say, hmm, I'm over successful. That is like that's not Bill Gates. That's nothing what he made it. People just gave him too much for even he stole ours a lot. It's not that. It's about when you are over successful, and even if I wouldn't be, I wouldn't want to hurt him or something or to put my hand on somebody unless I had totally no choice when it's something the way they were doing at basketball or something. But I don't love to do those things. But I wanted to make it clear with him that like you are damaging our cultures, the greatest things in the world that no one can ever accomplish except me. Not even Jesus could, not even none of those emperors, not these other people. So don't. And I wanted to make it a little bit tougher, to clear it up once for all. Not that we argue every time that I tell him, oh, go to hell or something, oh, you devil. Why would I keep saying that? Everyone knows who he is. And they said that he died. First of all, let me clear you up. Here, this guy didn't die of a natural death. That I can tell you straightforward, because I know here is happening something strange. Somebody else somewhere, it happened too as well. I know that he didn't die by natural death. This other murder that happened down, that one maybe he deserved to die. Maybe it's the same as this Gestapo Filipino who I supposed to kill him. But I don't have the rights. In this country, you have no rights to kill him, but you're supposed to kill him because his invasion and plus abuse he brought by my daughter. So who knows what reason it was, but usually people who kill, usually they pretend and then try to put on other people. But the problem with this guy, I don't think he died. But if he really died, because otherwise we would say, where is that body, a coffin or something that we know what happened with neighbor next door, love your neighbor as yourself and so on. And no one showed anything. So it's something they are acting here. But if he really died by any chance, but I supposed to kill him actually for to defend myself of what he was doing to me. And I had so much patience that I never even lift my hand on him. But what I want to say, I think that they murdered him, and it looks that probably the same people. Well, you have just to see what they are doing here, the people that work here, and then you will understand what I'm trying to tell you. And then they try to. I'm not saying that I should murder him for what he was doing to me. And I will be clear with you, with all of you. And I should kill him. Unfortunately, you don't understand that until you go through that. But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But there is a law, there is that. I wouldn't. Those things. I know he deserves that. He deserved to die, death, what he was doing. But the problem is, if I could handle it, it was so terrible things he was doing. Then why would someone else kill him, which he was mostly just around here and a little bit walking down and here somewhere. I mean, I don't think. Well, I cannot explain now. For me, it's just why that person, why we didn't see him if he is really dead. So it's not that I love to see him dead. It's just something strange is happening here. But if he really died, then he was murdered. He didn't die by natural death or something. That's not true. The way that he no. But now, on the end, as I said, if I would kill him, he would deserve it. Now, maybe he's done to someone else similar things, or maybe, I don't know, but I think that is an organized crime. People who are killing this type of CIA, if you understand. It's not CIA that would do that, but there are those people, CIA, for example, the same as when they used to go to Germany and they come here to this part from the Yugoslavian part, those who used to work for secret services, and then they are killing the people from because of the interest of the countries that they wouldn't work for other people and success and so on. And maybe you understand. And Croatians already said what happened that other day and why that happened. I understood it as well, the reactions of how, but for this guy, it looks that he has something to do with the Balkans as well, because he was committing a spying treason, and he's not the only one that does that. There are many as those. Many people do that here, especially the authorities. So this day somebody got upset a lot on Trudeau because Trudeau is one of those two who does that. But usually it's mostly that they're doing it with these other people who work around that it looks that is not him, or when they meet with the countries and then they keep spying, and bringing a bad reputation instead of just give ATC and all that. Because how it works, part of the people are the people which want to eliminate you. They would prefer that you live in the United States or in those countries where they want you to live. Then other people are which they want you to live in America for their interests and to enslave the people because they love to steal, right? If you understand, for free and so on, or for just salary instead of pay what's supposed to be. And these are the other people who still here. They stole so much already, so they want to that they wouldn't go to prison, into the prison, and so on. And so many abuses they did by the police and securities. The people, success, basketball, this, created, invented the best military, and so many other successes, a doctor, a surgeon, all type of things you wouldn't believe what I finished, graduated, and what experience. So I cannot explain it. Mental health and all that type of things, all that we have. So for years, I was doing that 50 billion US dollars a year for something else. A year. And they think somebody's going to be, I mean, hey, I suggest, I have enough of you people. You disappreciate everything, you destroy everything. So go to those people. Let me see how you're going to be, you know. And this is why it's all the disaster, you know. With those, even if you go to Vancouver by the streets, you can see that something is the way they are. That's what they get, and that's the point. So what I want to say, Gestapo Filipino and the way he reacted in that, they wanted to react different way, and if something happens, maybe as this neighbor, if you get it, and that's why people have to be careful about it. It's not difficult to eliminate office people this for this other way that is possible. It's not difficult. That problem is because they are not worthy as a people to even bother with them, and that's a problem. And also, why would they bring problem into our life that we have to, maybe contact and so on? So, if you understand, his luckiness is that this happened in Canada because Canada usually always help bad people, and of course, if this would happen, let's say Belgrade or especially Kosovo or Montenegro, it's not that it's bad, but for this type of treason of this, you're gonna come back in a coffin. You're gonna go back to Philippines as Gestapo in a coffin. But here, the authorities protect bad people, and they destroy, steal, and abuse, force into marriage. They were doing police officers that forced in the marriage by the Nathan Phillips Square and by the pizza where it was, they were setting up all type of things. Always they want to bring you a problem somewhere. They provoke something to anger. In the Bible is written and so on. And I just want to explain that this Gestapo is not like a German Gestapo, because a German tells you pretty much straightforward who he is, what it is, interest up and down, and Bill Gates is, if you understand, Steve Jobs half that Jobs, what I mean, but Steve Jobs is opposite of the Christ in the Bible, so maybe you understand. And then you understand what is true on the end. And okay, there are lots of those people from the Muslim side, which they were even lawyers. They committed the treason, all type of things. They were destroying everything. They become very hateful because Genghis Khan was that time, so they just invade. They don't have success. They invade. But we have real success that is worth it to give even 10% of the worldwide land as a new country, because new countries should be at least 10.4 million square kilometers. But according to the respect of Genghis, 28.5 million square kilometers, new countries for the Christ and Emperor that one. But plus the money what they owe or what's supposed to be paid, but minimum should be 26.7 million square kilometers according to the kingdom royal family. But it's not about now fooling. I'm just saying how egoistic they actually are. I mean, even one of these where you live, they have envy. Imagine what type of people you are dealing with. So this is what I'm saying. I want just to tell you that you have to be very careful about the immigrants that come into the country and the people who are already here and so on and so on. Because the things that are happening, you never know, is not really a judgment for the immigrants itself. Because I know how it is for the immigrants who really work hard as Mexicans, a few Yugoslavs who tried maybe a better life, or sometimes there's any persecution, sometimes there's blood of the, and so on. So is a very difficult situation, and sometimes they need a hand, to be helped and to be settled somewhere. And I know how it is. Mostly they are not true immigrants, as you can see it yourself when you go around. But sometimes it can happen that something it is there why they're supposed to live here. But the problem here is you still have to open your eyes and have more experience about this terrorism that is happening and what they actually do. No, simply what they do. They come, they invade, they destroy, they steal, and they rape, forced marriage, this, and they don't leave you alone with the marriages. And they involve even famous people, which if you don't want to get married with famous people, then they bring you such a problems that, and then you say why this happened, and so on and so on. And then again, even after that incident where he done that deliberately, intentionally, at this point that again he wanted to arrange something because it happened something for they're just divorcing two of the famous people, and you understand what I'm talking about. And then friendship that so I just blocked it, I just rejected because something I have learned. Because one time I wanted to go out with one person between just a few stars, which are markers, people who are not those what I know what they do, right? And I was thinking that okay, they're one of those people, but it's not because of fame, because you will understand what I actually do. That is not about that at all. And I respected the most of just a few people of those. The rest I consider them as only idols, and and you should stay away from idols. No? So I wanted then. I said, okay, last year it was something to go out, and then they say something yes, and then I felt lots of abuse by the way the messages were by many of those stars and those who pretend maybe, and then one of the guys that I know, and somehow none of it came, and that's fine. It wasn't a big deal, but it was because they changed my plan. So this time it's not that I didn't accept because of that one other star and something, but because in the Bible is written about the idols, and what is the problem here? So I noticed that Jesus was extremely experienced with the life of the people and the world, which hates you for that deeds are evil because someone testifies of it. So, problem about that is the best in life is because they are divorcing it. That's I understand why as well. And the most successful person doesn't matter what you have to go through. This is why Gestapo came here as well. You know what I wanted to say and what they're trying to do. And keep what is written in the Bible with the Lord. Lord is great. Don't be with people because of any interest. Maybe you thought people are this way or that way. Maybe you thought maybe those are not that way, or maybe they are, maybe they are not. Doesn't matter. But idols are idols. You have to stay away from idols. That is my advice. Doesn't matter how rich they are, $250 million or $400 million or $1.6 billion. Believe me, stay away from idols, even if you have to go through the worst because of them as well. You know, envy for one. And now you can see how bad actually are those billionaires or millionaires, most of them, who what they're trying to do and how egoist, and they owe us so much money. What type of people? So I'm just trying to say Gestapo. What Gestapo from Philippines, which is from other country, the way I understand, but the way I understood it, but he's Filipino Gestapo, and he came here to imagine when you go to the natives, like he came here to take my land and my apartment here. You know what I want to say? He just came to work here. He created a violence and such a terrorism and abuse and sexual rape, pedophilia. Imagine that. Like, imagine you go. It's terrible. I mean, like, I I wouldn't kill him when he's dead, done that. But if it would be the Christ country, which is supposed to be a new country, I would a new country. Can you create a country? You know what I would tell him? I would tell him one time, second time, because I'm more patient than most of the people, you know. And then third time, I would tell him. And then if he wouldn't leave and still abuse the way, so I really would kill him, that Gestapo Filipino. I would kill him because I had no choice. Even now, what he created, you wouldn't believe. But he deserved to die, to be murdered, to be hanged, to be, you know, executed. But the best would be as during the Stalin to be executed that way. But in these countries, the laws are messed up. You know, if somebody comes to invade you and endangers your life, you still have the right to protect yourself, and especially all that abuse. Or you know, I have seen things when people are shooting at the people in America, especially from their houses when they come there to, you know, do things. Of course, I mean, what else are you going to do? But you know, certain circumstances you cannot do that. Even if someone, you know, it has to be a reason that your life is really endangered. In this case, and my life was endangered here by this evil Gestapo Filipino. But it's not only Filipino Gestapo. And I think that he has to do something with the murder that in 2010, what happened here by the torture, because it's a strange how people react and how they come here to, they try to dictate people here. I mean, one uneducated person is going to come here to dictate people here and bring violence and raising voices and all kind of thing. And abuse, assault, you have no idea. Like, if it would be that new Christ country, which the laws would be normal by God's law, he would probably be for sure killed already. You know, there's a few other people when they wanted to eliminate him by, you know, he's lucky that he's with me, that I stopped that I didn't allow that. But you know, people would kill him. You know, and they would be right, because what he's done is terrible. I cannot explain it. Is as one guy said to me this way. He told me, I'm not gonna say name because people want to, maybe he's gonna apply tomorrow, and you know, if you get it, those are stupidity, the way they wrote the law. But his father abused him terribly, and I didn't really understand what type of abuse it was. And actually, then I understood when this guy came here, what he's done to me, and then I understood it, what it could be when he said, you know, he comes here to bring a violence to the greatest inventor ever lived and to the greatest accomplished person that no one can ever accomplish. And they owe me so much money. Plus, he brings this here, and the same as that guy said to him, what his father done to him. And probably this is what happened. And this is why European people sometimes should get, probably many times, easier documents in this country than these evil people who pretend, but they come just because they're poor, you know. And then they slept in on the garbage, and they didn't have what to eat. They came here, okay. You came here, okay. So usually the type of people even work this type of thing because the people don't even want to be around those bad people who, And of course, Serb is a manager, by the way, if you don't understand a little bit more what is going on. And he was lying that he owes a building, this, that. On the end, even he would be owing a building, it doesn't matter. This is by the contract. This has nothing to do with those. He has no right to do these things for no reason, no cause, just because he's egoism, envy, and setting up the people. But if you are harassed by anything that is happening, you have the right to, it's not like he's going to bring his laws here. I know they're going to be harassing all the time with things, and then you say why that one is that way. All what I want to say now, I understand more what he wanted to say about his father, something or somebody. Maybe is this one his father? But I mean, I'm trying to explain you something that you don't understand what the devil is. Like you think if they go to church that in the churches there is sexual rape many times. It's not about the church. My advice is for people who are from my descents, main Montenegrin, then American from the United States, then native Canadian, little bit Czech, Canadian, then Acadian, French Acadian, then English, then Passionlander as a new country that has to be created, independent, and the right laws and open carry and all that should be allowed and concealed. That you have the rights and no setup from the police on these things where are setting up people to try to destroy their lives and all kind of type of things that they pretend they're nice people. Actually, only God is good. And lots of crimes they done even themselves, actually, not just those people who do worse things. And I have lots of descents here. I have 8 descents with Passionlander including. So is as well UK if I mentioned. And I want to say just that you have to be careful of these people. If you don't know who is working, these people who work in these places are very bad people, And that I can tell you. Other people, sometimes from the African Americans or something, I heard they would say substance abuse somewhere. Probably you get it. So imagine we are paying them. Money comes from our people, from all of us, and they come here to enjoy their good salary, which they live on the garbage in their countries, and they were doing crimes. You can see is a serious criminal primitivo. The way Portuguese would say for those Aborigines primitivos in the jungle, how they are, they start killing people with those arrows, and but not always. I'm just saying you have those primitivos as well. I mean, worldwide you have original probably 467 million. I'm not sure around there worldwide because you have different indigenous groups. Even in China, you have a large number of indigenous groups. So that is the point. So what I'm telling you, I had to mention to you about these Gestapos because you have to remember in the life to come to be careful. These people are something else than what you expect and you think they are. Always they're gonna give you empty promises, something, and don't be material that way. First accomplish things and then you ask, but don't think about money first because otherwise you're gonna be like as dumb. You don't want to be as dumb, corrupt company out there. So you want to be by the righteous side. And okay, Yugoslavs would say this happened for other reason, and they always say that. But it's not just that because I was just checking what the Serbs were doing, what they're doing on YouTube, which is criminal organization. They're always destroying the good things, good deeds, and that is the same as world hates this, that. If you want to be a disciple of the Lord, you have to hate the world, and that is the point, because wrongdoings and nothing to say more. I just want to tell you, make sure that you are careful about how you make friendship and what you joke, what you say, because sometimes maybe even from a joke, somebody can get it in a different way because people just try to use in a bad way. And even what you say in apartments, you can say what you want, is free of speech, but the problem is these people are very naive. So these people are doing illegal things, all they are listening what you say in this strange world, like don't be so stubborn, like you have no idea how the things work and operations. And I just try to make you more careful in how they're gonna provoke you and all this, and what a bad people actually they are. And you know even those that work for the authorities, lots of them, and what the crimes they were doing, you wouldn't believe what they were doing. Even I didn't believe myself that that's possible. I was thinking it could be possible what Ephraim told me a long time ago. If he told me about something, like I would never believe that that's possible, but I knew that something was possible by the haters in Yugoslavia, those who always hated, and they were always that I know. But for this part, I would never say that police. I always had more that a trust in police type of more type of as they probably but unfortunately you have all type of people. Each person is different in life, and you cannot really think. Lots of times they're even worse than those the most dangerous prisoners, which are on YouTube. You can see, and so it's not really. It's hard to judge, But when you get to know them better, then you see actually who they really are. But I always knew what is in their heart. That's important. And that's what I'm saying. Now, I explained the situation better. It's dangerous with this Filipino Gestapo here. Personally, he should lose a job, not get welfare because he's a criminal, and be deported to his country, or at least transfer him to the worst area, JNF Finch or somewhere, to work there and lower his salary on half. You know, for example, if it's a big salary, if it's 105,000, let's say, then a salary falls onto maybe 20,000, not more. That's how they should do it, because they try to do something out of it. You don't understand what evil people do. But those who really went through the worst, many of those, they don't even have, the benefits that they deserve. And that's what I'm saying. You should be careful in your life what people you are surrounded, and get to know them better, understand the situation better, and then understand that the world is tricky. And there are people who pretend for things, that all type of things in order to get something. And there are those who didn't even expect and they got, and then those who somehow application went, then they try to destroy as well, because success, and now they are evil-minded, pretending believing in the Lord, and that is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. They're not your friends. They just pretend being your friends. Like what is something as this, when $3 billion was right away in 2005. It was even before, but 2005 more clearly mentioned. That means only a house should be 10 billion US dollars for the respect of the greatest. But the success went more, and now is the big time, you see? And then again, call from that on something, appointment for what these people do. These people are really evil. But that's what it is. This is what I'm saying. I want to prepare you that be with nice people. Maybe sometimes it's better alone, but with somebody you have to a little bit. But the most recommended is at this point in time that at the present time, that you always choose something that is similar to your culture. And the best would be that you are with your culture, which you prefer the most, surrounded with people as those. Doesn't matter whether they can be beneficial or not in your life, but life is about the most important things here are that they don't damage your interest of the, if you understand what interest I'm talking about. Because these people are just damaging interest of your countries, you know, and that is the bad side. This is why I'm saying you have to be surrounded with your people, not by enemies and wrongdoers or who knows what, right? That's all what I'm trying to tell you. Your start has to go on the right path so that then at least you can play basketball in peace. At least you can become all champions right away within 3 months because I'm the best, to be honest. But for example, Africans, they don't play bad. African Americans, a few of those, but if if they would be good players in real life, even Obama itself, because Obama he knows a little bit how to play, but if he could make it, he would make it, but he couldn't. So talking is one thing, but really making it is totally different thing. And the same thing with if Africans would be good at basketball, they would be world champions or second or third or something, but they don't have good successes. But Serbia was second, supposed to be third because I have the greatest association and but let it be that they're second. But Serbs are not dependable on mixed cultures that they live in the United States. That means Africans cannot be champions in Africa, if you understand. They might be, but they were not. That means they are not good for it. They are not so good enough in order to be good. But with mixed people in America, they become tough. What I want to tell you, but Serbia made it without what's in America, if you understand. So Serbs are better actually in this sense. So that's what I'm trying to say. And me, I'm better than all as an association, but of course they're not going to be using us, and we don't want them people from here, lazy people and so on, people who just take and steal. We don't want them. We just want particular people who, because you have to pay that already. They stole only for basketball. They stole $25 billion, but 200 billion is supposed to be paid association because of the knowledge and all that, and leadership, and that's what I'm talking. Many things you don't understand. So all I said is true. Just you have to be careful. The best is that you are surrounded with your culture people, so that also testimony comes. That you don't argue much. That these people don't destroy your country's interests all the time and steal and so on, what they do and so on. Maybe even murder and so on. Maybe you understand. So now you get it. So that's all for today. If you receive this word, that's going to take you into the right path in the life. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to get even a sign sometimes for the yearly thing. So think about that. What type of world we live in. Okay. Have a good time. See you next time.